Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to be doing a fun little different Space Marine paint because I got a bunch of orders in recently for off-common chapters. Like I have Mantis, Kraken, and another few. But anyway, I got these two in for Space Marine and a Dreadnought, so I want to do something different. And I know that they're salamander based, but they're also kind of sea kind of themed. Not really, they're squid, but I don't know. I had this idea in my head where I wanted to have them kind of sitting on a cliffside with the sea raging at them, with water splashing, and I wanted to try some different effects and see if they worked or not. And I think they're pretty successful. So anyway, let's jump into it and see what we did. So starting off with these two models, I wanted to have an indent base so I could put some resin down first to start my water effect. So these are just simple. Honestly, I pulled these off of the Bamboo Handy website for like indent bases, and they were deep enough. Sometimes I like to make them deeper if I need more room to like put models in the water or in ice, but these were perfect. I don't need that much. To build up our rocky shoreline, I use some pine bark chips. I don't know why I never used these before. I saw them in an Eons of Battle video a long time ago, and I completely forgot about them because they're perfect. They're awesome. They are so cool, and they work so well for rocks, and I have a giant bag of them now, so I'm very excited. I'll be using these a lot more. But all I really wanted to do here was build up the shoreline. I didn't want to have to fill in the entire space with these chips. I didn't really need to because I can use some other material, but I basically glued them down and I put my models kind of on them to make sure that the feet kind of were close to matching up. They're all going to get pinned, so it's not a huge deal. Next, I just kind of glued everything down, put some hot glue. It worked good for these bark chips. Now to fill in the rest of this, honestly, I just needed a quick method. You could use some epoxy, you could use magic sculpt, you can use a bunch of different things. Air dry clay. I just used some wood glue because I had it on hand, so all I did was I just kind of globbed it in there, filled in all the cracks where the land was going to be, and I just put some sand on top of it. Some sand and some rocks, and you know what, when it dried solid and it worked fine. So now we got our bases set. Let's just get over to the model now. So I'm actually gonna base everything in a mix of black primer, and it's called the Darkness from Army Painter. It's a dark blue. It's great color. I never get to use it that much, so I actually ended up just basing everything in this color because I thought it's not a black, but it's close enough. And we'll highlight it to make it look like a black. But, a lot of the best painters say you don't paint black with black. So, there you go. We used a dark blue. So, but before I get to any other colors, I thought since I have kind of my base coat here of my darkness, quote unquote, let's go ahead and do a nice little dry highlight. So, using a dry brush, I just dry brushed on some dark gray. I used deep gray, but you can use any darker than mid-tone gray here. We're just doing a very, very general dry brush around the edges. We're going to do a lot of highlighting and edge highlighting later, so not a crucial that we do it now, but we got no other paint on the model, so might as well. Before I get over to any colors, the Space Marine had a little bit of leather to get done, so I just hit that with a little Banshee Brown. And moving over to the purple now, we're going to start off with Dark Plum. It's from the Ninja range of Pro Acryl. To be honest, I don't have a lot of purples in my my collection, which I need to get some more. So I started with this. You can start off with any dark purple though. This is just what I had. It's okay though because we're going to build to a pretty vibrant purple, so this is not really going to be a huge deal. Next, I go up to a Royal Purple from Vallejo. This is a nice purple, and I guess it's violet mix. There's something else in there, but it's a very good purple, and I use it a lot. And what I did here with the Dreadnought is I actually just kind of stippled it on because I'm liking the texture feel for this. It won't be a true texture like stipple sponge look, but it's working for just applying what I need. And yeah, I think it has a good look to it. So I just did a stipple here. For the final kind of stipple highlight here, I use Blue Violet from Vallejo. This is more violet than purple, but it's a good for the rounded natures of the shoulder pads and stuff. It'll work nicely for what we need. Next, I use a little burnt iron to cut in any metallics I needed to cut in around the gun. The sword is going to get a power sword, so I don't have to worry about that right now. I'm going extra with this model for some reason. Side note, I got some new brushes from Golden Maple. I really like them. They're awesome. They had a sale and I just kind of bought 2 brushes, but I have like a number 1 and a number 2, and the edges are sharp, really sharp, and I'm really liking them. If anyone's looking for some brush recommendations, I would definitely try it out. You know, it's in my rotation now pretty heavily. So with all the metallics cut in, I used a little bit of weapon bronze on the edges of those meltas. We're gonna move on to, we're just gonna do some painting on the bases. So I'm gonna do a straight gray transition of dark gray to a neutral gray. We're just gonna dry brush all the rocks and the sand here for our shoreline. So I'm going to use a dark sea green here to just kind of base coat the base by where the water is going to be. So this is going to be the darker part of my ocean here. So I'm just going to color the base that color. After a simple black wash, I decided let's just go right into highlights. So I'm going right back to my dark gray into a mid-tone gray, and I'm going to start edge highlighting all of the black armored edges, or they're actually dark blue, but it's fine. Then I'm going to go to my blue violet, and I'm going to cut all of the edges of my Dreadnought panels in also. Fun time edge highlighting. You know, when you're using this, you want to have a nice sharp brush, nice clean edge, and you just want to drag the edge and the tip along the edge of each panel, and you'll get a nice sharp edge highlight that way. You want to be light, don't press too hard, or the brush will go all over the panel. Pretty simple highlight there, but it's effective and it looks good. It's nice and clean. I'm gonna start on my OSL stuff. So I'm doing the blade and the claws. The claws are 3D printed, by the way. I'll put the link down below. I wanted more of a, I don't know, a hook kind of claw for these guys, not the normal, you know, Dreadnought hands. So I'm gonna base coat the claw blades and my blade. They're all going to get a base coat of the dark sea green, actually, because I just need a dark blue and I had it on the palette. Doesn't really matter too much. Next I'm going to use some masking tape. So I break the blade in half with the masking tape right down the middle, and I mask both sides of the sword. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint in a pattern of, it's almost a checkered pattern basically. So one side's going to get one spray of white ink in the middle, and the other side's going to get one on the top, one on the bottom. So it'll look like a checker kind of print at the end. But we want to be gentle here with our pressure, a consistent stream, and we want it to be, you know, we want to work on it slow. We don't need it to be all white. We want to have a little bit of gradient there. For the claws, I'm just going to aim my shot towards the middle of each claw. That's going to be where the blue hue is coming from, and it's going to dissipate out to a darker blue on the edges. You'll see this. This is one way to do it. I kind of think it's pretty sharp looking when it's done. Now for my sword, I'm just going to flip my masking tape over to the other side, and then whatever checker pattern, I'm just going to flip it. So as you can see, I went top and bottom on the left side of this sword. Now I'm going to just go one in the middle on the right. Now I'm going to cover basically the entire blade and the claws with Frost Hard Blue, which is a contrast paint from Citadel. This is a really nice blue color. It's going to give me nice coverage and tint. So while all that's drying, I'm going to go basically back and forth between my base and my LSL work. So the idea here is to have kind of waves crashing into the rocky shore, and there'll be water coming kind of splashing up through the cracks in the rock and on the rock faces. So what I did was I used some pieces of plastic from I think these came from a bottle, and I basically cut them out into like thin triangles, and I bent them so the curvature of the plastic will kind of rub up against the rocks. And this is basically all I'm doing is making a backbone for the water effects that I'm going to do, because you can't really build it on itself. It's kind of a wet and soft material, so you need usually a spine or something to back it up on. And I wanted something clear, so I used this plastic. Now that I have them set, I'm just going to flood my base with UV resin, and I'm going to cure it. Because we're just doing straight UV resin out of the bottle, the color we put below, that dark sea blue, is going to come through, and that's going to be what the color of our water looks like, which is nice. Now I'm going to start working on my waves. So in hindsight, I used way too much of this contrast paint. I don't know what I was thinking, but I used a greenish blue paint and mixed it into my Vallejo water texture paste, and I was like, okay, this is fine, it's just gonna tint it. I should have went more for a green, and I should have done less of it, because what ends up happening is I'm impatient and I don't let it dry. When it dries clear, but if you don't let it dry, it will stay the color that you put it down as. So as you'll see, as I'm putting my waves down, they look fine at first. I'm covering, the wave going up, I'm making my ripples, I'm doing all the normal stuff. But after I go, a few layers in, I get impatient and I don't wait for it to dry fairly. So there's blue underneath the clear. You'll see. Moving back to my my blade here, I'm just working my colors a little bit, my gradients. I'm doing like a sky blue, a deep sky blue, some white on the palette, and I'm just using some gradient colors to like kind of glaze over what I have here with the airbrush. Not necessary. The airbrush did a pretty good job of what I wanted it to, but I wanted a little more gradient work here. To finish up the OSL, I want to just do one last little tiny controlled burst of white ink in the middle to really sell that hotness of the glow. And then that means I gotta put the masking tape back on the sword to do it, but it works and it's worth it. So now I am back to my base, and as you can see, some parts of the base still have that blue because I didn't wait long enough. So now what I'm doing is I'm putting more, this is clear, no tint, clear watercolor effects on top of the not cured stuff. So when it all cures together, there will be some blue there, which is what I did not want. I wanted a dark sea effect. It worked in the end, but in hindsight, I shouldn't have done this. Now, looking at my waves, I'm not really liking them at this point. I need to get more flow, I need to get more movement, more curvature out of it. So I think, okay, I gotta get something else in here to help me build off of. So I grabbed some fishing line, which is clear, and I started curving it and gluing it down to kind of where I had these columns of water to try to build a better backbone for some curvature. It works, it's working. what I'm doing here now is I'm just covering everything in more watercolor, water paste, to kind of lock it all in and make it look like it's one large spout of water that's coming off. And I think it's working. I had something a little different in my head, but I think the effect is selling, to my eyes at least. So here's what it looks like after it's cured over some time. As you can see, my next video of miniatures are here on the left. Again, it's still not fully cured, but it's coming together a little bit better in my head. Finally, what I'm just gonna do is one edge highlight of pure white on the edge of the sword and the edge of the claws to really sell that final OSL effect. And the true last step is I'm going to take some foam texture paste from AK, and I'm just going to kind of hide my sins a little bit here. Some of this blue that I hate that it's shining through, I'm going to actually just cover up with a foam. And it makes sense. If water's hitting rocks and coming up in a spout of water, it's most likely going to be aerated and filled with foam anyway. So I'm like, all right, I can pretty much get away with like covering up a lot of this with this foam material, and it's going to look fine. You want to make sure you're just touching the edges of your waves, because when the wave will crest and it pops up, that's when it's making its movement. That's where it's like gaining that kind of foam, the aeration of the water. But anyway, that's it. I think it's pretty cool. I think the water effect is good. Again, I can be definitely better, and I'm sure there's better people out there that did one, but I think it kind of works for what I wanted as a big-ass dreadnought on the shore of a beach, rocky shore. I think it works. The OSL, the dark purples, the black, mostly black armor, like it all works, especially with those hot OSL glows of the weapons. Especially on the captain, it looks really good. So it works, and I think it came out great. So that was a short one, and hope you guys liked this one. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, all those things. If you're interested in any more support, I do have a Patreon. If you're interested in any other guides and stuff, I have some like PDF guides up there. I'm putting more every week. And if you're interested in support, you can go over there and check it out. If you want, it's all good. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks. Anyway, I wanted to thank everyone for watching the video. If you like it, please like, subscribe, share, comment. There's a hype button now you can hit. There's all kinds of stuff. Any way you can show support, it helps me in the algorithm, helps everything. I do have a Patreon if you're interested in supporting. I have PDF guides, raw videos, stuff coming out every week. If you're interested, go check it out. If you're looking to support, I should have my YouTube memberships up soon too. I need a few more watch hours for that. But if you're interested in that, please, if you want to support me that way, that'd be fantastic. Also, anything is just greatly appreciated. Every view, every like. Also, just in general, I'm a commissioned painter. If you ever want to look into having anything painted, I'm always accepting jobs. The commissions are always open. Thanks. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.